Hello and welcome to the fourth video in your beginners series. So this time we're going to start ourselves down on the mat. We're going to lay ourselves down, and just because we're in our laying down position doesn't mean our alignment is not as important. So I want us to think about that alignment once more. So we're going to place our hands on our springs, our thumb goes on the bottom of our rib cage, our fingers onto our hip bones, and we're going to start with those pelvic tilts. So we tuck the tailbone under towards the ceiling, and then we release it back down. So we take those little tilts forwards and backwards until you find your neutral position. So that center position for you, once you've found it, we should have that natural curve in the spine, and everyone's distance is different. We're going to place our knees hip distance, and we're going to think about that length through the spine. So our gaze stays lifted. We relax the arms down the side of the body. We take that nice deep breath in and out. We feel that diaphragm lift and lower. Good. So this session we're going to focus on some core work. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And this time, as you breathe out, we're going to take our single leg slide. So we're going to slide one leg out as we exhale. So we lengthen that leg out. Now we again want to think about stability through the pelvis. So we're not allowing that pelvis to tilt. We've got that control. We inhale, draw it back in. Exhale, lengthen, change in sides. Now we think that braced core. Remember what we talked about. Imagine we are zipping up our pair of jeans. We're not holding our breath. So as we exhale, bracing that core nice and tight and drawing back in. Now if we've got a braced core, we will feel it working to stabilize the pelvis as we slide those legs in and out. If you have not connected with the core, the pelvis will be moving, tilting side to side. We don't want that to happen, so really focus on that brace core, that breath, and that stability. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale as you come to center. Good. Now we're going to add on here. So as I say, anytime we move a limb away from the midline of the body, as we are doing with our leg slide, our core is working to stabilize those hips to stop us rocking side to side. So think about bracing that core nice and tight. We're going to add additional movements now. If at any point it feels too much, or your your hips are moving too much, take it back to a previous level. So this time I'm going to extend my arms above my shoulders, my palms face in. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. As I exhale, I lengthen one leg away. As I do, I lengthen the opposite arm. I inhale, I come to center. Again, changing sides. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, back to center. So our core now is having to stabilize pelvis, and it's challenged that a little bit more because the arms are not down to stabilize us. And the core is working to control those limbs. So using that breath, exhale, lengthen. Inhale, center. Is our pelvis nice and stable? Good. We're going to go for 4 more here. Lovely. Bringing it back in. I'm going to release those arms down. Really nice. And again, thinking that braced core and focusing on the breath. This time, we're going to move on and we're going to challenge a little bit more. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to lift one leg up towards tabletop. Now, when I say tabletop, the knees come in above the hips. If I extend my arm, it comes no closer than the heel of my hand, and my shin stays parallel with the ceiling. And then I'm going to lower it down. So I'm marching my legs slowly with control to tabletop position. Now this has increased the work on the core, because as that leg is lifting, the core's working harder to keep the pelvis stable. Good. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Use the breath. Don't forget that nice braced core. And remember our neutral position. We shouldn't feel the back lifting anymore from the mat. Really control from that core. Lovely. For 4. 3. I can feel that core engaged, stabilizing. 2. So as we start to lift, brace. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Good. Last one. Really nice. Release it there. If you need to hug your knees in at any time, feel free to. So our next movement, with our feet hip distance, I want you to bring yourself onto your toes. And I'm going to place our hands this time onto our hip bones. So remember those little springs, thumb on the bottom of the rib cage, finger onto our hip bone. What we're going to do is our single knee drop. So from here, toes in contact, we're going to drop one knee out to the side. Now, as that knee drops, the spring doesn't change. So the spring is not getting closer and it's not extending further. The spring distance is the same. And your opposite hip, your opposite spring has not moved. And then we slowly draw back in. So we do not allow the opposite hip to move at all. If you feel it's starting to move, then reduce the distance you are dropping your knee. Because again, we are working that core stability. So we want to be able to stabilize the pelvis. We exhale as we lower. Inhale as we come to center. Good. You've got 3. 2. 'Good. Last one. Now, if you managed that move without the opposite hip lifting, we are going to progress. If you felt your hips were moving and we had to reduce that distance, you stay at that level. To progress, I'm going to lift my knees back to tabletop. Now, I don't just lift them up. I brace my core first. So I brace to stabilize. Nice deep breath in as I exhale, I lift. Nice deep breath in, exhale, lift. Those knees in that tabletop position. Fingers come back to the springs and we take that knee drop again from here. So we're going to drop the knee out to the side as far as you can before the opposite hip moves and then draw to center. Exhale, drop. Inhale, center. Really nice. And again, it's that core control, stabilizing the pelvis. Now you control the distance you drop the leg. Good. And if you need, remain with those toes down on the floor. That's fine. Remember, those knees remain above the hips. The spring distance should be the same. If I've drawn my knees in closer, my springs are going to close off. If I take them further away, my springs are going to extend. So make sure we've got that nice alignment. Keeping that lovely control. Good, you've got 4. 3. 2. Good, last one. Now we're going to try a new move from here. Once we've got this stability, we're going to add. If you feel your hips were moving too much, remain here. Otherwise, we're now going to extend those arms above the shoulders, palms in. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to tap that foot down as we extend the arm. It's the same toe tap and lift as we previously did. And same movements with the arm and leg as we did with our leg slides. We exhale as we tap down. Inhale as we come to center. Core is working hard to stabilize us. Using that breath. And notice my knees are still above my hips. My shins are parallel. Keep that alignment. You've got 3. 2. 'Good, last one, bring it in. Lovely. Just hug those knees to the chest, circle the knees round. Really good. We're going to allow the knees to drop to one side. We're going to open our arms and we're going to take our gaze down the opposite arm. Just release the spine. Release into the hips. The hip flexors have been working as well. And then changing sides when you're ready. Good. Bring it back to center now. I'm going to allow my arms and knees to drop to the same side. And I'm going to slowly push myself up. Really lovely. Bringing ourselves into our seated position. We're going to take that nice deep breath in. And out. Good. Deep breath in. And out. Lovely. Last one. Nice deep breath in. And this time as we breathe out, bring the hands down towards the heart. Well done. I hope you enjoyed that session. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.